Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you out to our August board meeting. First day of school and the board meeting, so it's always good to see principals and staff here. So I know it's a long day for you folks. An exciting day, but a long day. So appreciate y'all staying late with us. We'll go ahead and get everything started, and I'll start with Mr. Caldwell. Pledge of allegiance. Attention. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Ms. Crawford, do you mind read the mission statement, please?
Sure. The mission of Clay County Schools is to build high-quality learning environments that ensure all students learn at high levels. Thank you.
And the only announcement we have is that the next regular board meeting will be September 26th here in the boardroom. So I'll entertain a motion that we approve the agenda. You have that in front of you, and it was emailed to you as well.
Make a motion to approve.
Mr. Ash has a motion. Mr. Caldwell seconds. All in favor? Thank you. Shelley, was there no public comments? So we'll skip right on past that, and we'll start with the report section. And Ms. Godfrey has the superintendent's report.
Yeah.
Too bad this isn't the action section, or I would request a motion. We now have a board meeting on the first day of school next year. I'm teasing. It's been a really exciting day. Just to start my report, I just wanted to take a moment and honor Miss Catherine Rogers, who was part of our cafeteria staff for over 17 years, and she recently passed away. And we shared that on our Facebook page, and I think if you just read through the comments, you can see what a difference that she made for our district. And very thankful for her time with us, and just ask the community to remember that family. I want to share a little bit about our enrollment since it's the first day of school. When we started school last year, we had 1,301 students. That was including pre-K. We ended the year with 1,302 students. So finished about where we started. We are starting this year with 1,325 students. And our pre-K is full. So we are rejoicing in that as well. And there's also some records requests hanging out, students that are enrolling. So that number, of course, will fluctuate in the first few days of school. But I want to say a big thank you to Adrian, who's worked very, very hard, and Shelley, to get our SRO grant submitted. That grant is crucial for us in terms of how we staff our district with SROs. And he put a tremendous amount of work into getting that submitted, and I appreciate him and Shelley working together to get that submitted. Just a few school updates. Ms. Clemens wanted us to just notice how much PD went into the pre-planning. They had math, professional development. We had autism training, de-escalation training. But a couple of things that were unique to the primary school was they hosted HPS 101 for their new teachers. It was a great opportunity to have to visit them while they were doing that, just make sure that their newest teachers get a good start down there with all things HPS. Of course, we do a new hire orientation for our certified and classified staff that was held in early August, but this is really just to help them get to know the school and things specific to the school. And then also, the teachers at HPS did a training on culturally responsive teaching, and that was hosted by Marcy Birch. Marcy is one of our very active parents in our district and serves on the PTO, but she's also she's a scholar, really, and came and shared her knowledge with us. Being culturally responsive is one of those things we always feel like we struggle to articulate how we do that. We feel like we do it, but we don't always know how to articulate it. And obviously, it's an area we always want to grow. So we're very appreciative of Marcy coming and sharing with us. That particular professional development was held in response to the spring completion of the FAMS survey, which is a survey that evaluates our MTSS framework at each school and also at the district level. And that's an area that they continually rated themselves low. They have some new folks leading the charge for MTSS, and that would be Jill Cherry and Missy Rich are leading reading, and Felicia Mull will continue leading math. Open house was a great success, and they were excited to get the school year rolling. At HES, they had a huge turnout for open house and started the day with all smiling faces. They took time at their opening meeting to celebrate all teachers and staff members and the positive impact they had on the success of the school last year. They're geared up and ready to keep growing. I actually got to visit part of their opening meeting, and every few slides, a different staff member would pop up, and it was all about something they had positively contributed to the school year last year. And so that was just a good time of reflection and celebration for staff members. At HMS, we had a big celebration this weekend. The boys placed first in the cross-country meet. Their top 5 runners were in the top 8. Mr. Jones' grandson, one of those. Miss Crawford's son was one of those. But they really are going to be fun to watch this year and in the years to come. We've got some great talent. They also had an awesome turnout for open house, and they piloted, as you know, in our strategic plan, we're trying to become more efficient. It may not feel like that with those first aid packets we sent home, but we did pilot the point of sale at the open house to be able to pay the insurance fee if parents want to opt into tech insurance, and we ended up collecting more money just at open house than we traditionally do during all of that beginning of school, back to school stuff. So I think parents were appreciative. We're hoping to roll that out slowly and eventually work up to being able to use that for gate sales and concessions within athletics. So excited about that. High school also had a great turnout at open house, and they're excited to get the year started off strong. This year we have several alumni who are hired in the summer. It's exciting to see them come full circle and get back to the school that molded them. Just one important update, they are implementing the Securely Pass system to ensure bathrooms are safe and accessible for all students. And so basically that's like a bathroom pass system. They've also tightened down on the use of cell phones. As you know, that went into state law last year about no phones during class time, and what we found is that students would go to the bathroom in order to access their phone, and so they tightened up on that. Students are putting their phone in a pouch when they come in, still accessible in an emergency, but it removes the temptation to go to the bathroom to use your phone, and also allows us to keep tabs on who's in the bathroom, when, for how long, and help us create a secure environment in our bathrooms in high school. Quick note about CTE. Mr. Saltz hosted a CTE program launch, and that started August the 12th down at Tri-County Community College. It was really great. There were CTE teachers, district and school leaders. They included the exceptional children's staff, as well as our partners with Tri-County, to celebrate accomplishments, evaluate programming, and identify new opportunities for students. And I know there were a lot of great ideas born out of that session, and I was glad to be able to attend that. It's a great way to celebrate the program and build upon what we are doing to provide the very best for our students. Jim has also written a very nice newspaper article about the launch that hopefully will be in this week's edition of Progress. So you guys can look forward to reading that. Do you guys have any questions?
Questions?
Okay.
Very good. Thank you.
Ms. Godfrey, I just want to say just that we sure have, I mean, I know the public has too, but enjoyed the videos that each one of the school systems put out. Oh my goodness, it just brought so much joy. And,
they have done a great job.
Yeah, it's really got people tickled and ready for school and so forth.
Yeah.
So
We've got Mr.
Great
Oberlin in the video.
I know Mr. Oberlin was in, and Tiffany flipping over couches.
Yeah. Got some hidden talents.
Yes, we find all the hidden talents.
I do think they've been, thank you for bringing that up.
It's extraordinary.
They have been fun to watch. I do have an update about the intermediate school and just kind of what's going on over there. And it is very much the same. There is drywall hanging and drywall finishing, a lot of it that's going on at this time. They're continuing with paint. There are 6 rooms remaining for tile work. So the tile is really coming along. They are continuing with window frame and glass installation. They have had some delays due to material shortages from the manufacturer, so that's stressed them out just a bit. Continuing to work on exterior concrete. The particular day we had our meeting, which was last Tuesday, they were pouring the concrete on the patio that's facing the bus garage. The one that I keep trying to turn into my office, but no one has taken me up on that yet. The metal siding is 100% completed. They're continuing with the roof coping. They have installed the ceiling grid in the kitchen as well as the stairwells for the drop ceiling. The electricians are continuing throughout the building. The electricians have building power ready to turn on. So waiting on Blue Ridge Mountain EMC on that. The plumbers are continuing with water heater installations. The pipe installation is continuing. Ductwork installation is nearing completion. The registers and grill installation will be completed as the ceilings go in. The elevators have been installed, and 90% of the roof leaders and downspouts have been tied into the storm drainage. So, for the rest of this month and September, they're going to continue with hanging and finishing drywall, laying tile, painting, window installation, electrical home runs, installation of water heaters and fixtures. Plumbers will begin gas line installation as soon as materials arrive. They're going to continue with installation of registers and grills when the ceilings are complete, and continue with exterior concrete. So, we've had a lot to discuss at our construction meetings as things are getting closer and closer to being complete. Our contract date for completion is in February, but they continue to be a little bit ahead of that, so we're hopeful that we'll be closer to December or January. We did submit a remote learning plan in the event that that move needs to happen when we are in session for school. That will allow us to have our middle school students do remote learning for a few days while we make that transition. So.
Question on the auditorium.
Yes.
They did, you know, last month you said they were getting ready to start concreting it. So they got it all concreted.
They do have the concrete
steps
tiers
and
in. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks really great.
Very good. Any other questions or comments? No? Very good. Thank you.
I think I'm next too.
You are. The West Cherry Road property?
Yes. So obviously this is familiar to the board, but I do want to provide just a brief review for the background for the public. In May, the board declared approximately 5.13 acres of property located on West Cherry Road as unnecessary for school purposes. As required by law, the Clay County Board of Commissioners were given the first opportunity to purchase the property at fair market value, and the commissioners declined. The board then offered the individual lots for sale through a sealed bid process, and those were reviewed at last month's meeting. Bids were accepted for lots 2, 4, and 7, while no bids were accepted for lots 3 and 6. We did not receive any bids for those 2 lots. The individual who submitted the successful bid for lot 7 has since withdrawn that offer. Therefore, lots 3, 6, and 7 remain available. The resolution before the board tonight authorizes us to begin a negotiated offer and upset bid process for those 3 remaining lots. Each lot will continue to be sold separately and in its current condition, subject to any existing easements and restrictions. Under this process, any negotiated offer will first be presented to the board. If the board proposes to accept an offer, the potential purchaser must submit a 5% deposit, and the offer will be publicly advertised. Other individuals will then have 10 days to submit a qualifying upset bid. This process continues until no additional qualifying bids are received. It's important to know that tonight's action does not approve the sale of any lot or establish a final sale price. It simply authorizes us to begin the ultimate sale process. The board will retain the authority to approve the final sale price and may reject any and all offers. So that's just a summary of what the resolution that's before you includes.
Very good. Are there any questions or comments about this resolution? If not, I entertain a motion that we approve.
Make a
Mr.
motion.
Jones has a motion. Ms. Crawford seconds. All in favor? Thank you. And next we have Ms. Hollingsworth with the elevator replacement project.
Was there something wrong?
Hopefully everyone had time to review the proposal that was in the share drive regarding the elevator modernization in the high school gym. What we're recommending this evening is that we approve entering into a contract with TK Elevator in the amount of $98,528 for the equipment and installation necessary to modernize the elevator serving the high school gym. And then also with that, go ahead and approve the total estimated project funding of $146,328 from the repair and renovation fund. But y'all know because of our area that it's hard for us to get bids from multiple companies, and TK Elevator is pretty much the only one in our area that will come to the area to service the one we have and that placed a bid to actually modernize the equipment. So approval of just going ahead and approving the TK Elevator portion of it for the equipment and the installation will allow us to begin working with Wells and West. They can go ahead and start meeting with Wells and West to see if we can work on the scope of work and pricing with them as the general contractor. They had currently estimated some of the general contract work to be $47,800, but we are hopeful that we will be able to work with Wells and West since we work on with the middle school and other projects. Then we'll be able to have some savings. But I would like to go ahead and do the full estimated cost, and if we don't use all those funds, we can return the funds that we don't use. So we are requesting approval of that recommendation.
I do want to mention that TK Elevator is who is the vendor for the new building, so it would allow us to use the same vendor for all of our elevators. And we do spend a lot of money repairing the high school elevator. It's about a $2,000 charge every time they come out, and they come out multiple times a year. So we're spending a lot of money for them to work on that elevator.
And they charge just to come and reset it. Like if it goes down and they just need to come reset something, they charge about $2,000. Over 3 years, we've spent over $35,000 keeping it operational. So it's time for it to be replaced.
Very good. Any questions or comments about this proposal? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we enter into this agreement with TK Elevator.
Make a motion to approve.
Ms. Rice has a motion. Ms. Crawford seconds that. All in favor? Thank you. Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Holmesworth. And can I change that before you?
Sure.
Okay. So real quick before we move on to the paving proposal, Mr. Caldwell brought it to my attention that September 26th is actually a Saturday.
It's the 28th.
So the date should be the 28th for the next board meeting. So just make that change. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Caldwell.
My apologies. We don't want to come on Saturday.
No.
No way.
In your packet, you have a proposal from LS3P. This proposal is specific to some road work and paving that is outside of the contract with Wells and West, but something that we would like to include as part of this project. So there's two things that need to be addressed. One is the road that goes up from Anderson Street by the maintenance shed up to the building. So that road that is currently like our bus road is not included in Wells and West scope of work. However, that road will be the road that will be used for buses to get to and from the bus loop that will be outside the cafeteria. That road is already in poor shape. I don't think it has an adequate stone base underneath, and the paving and asphalt that's there is not thick enough for the equipment that's going across that. So it is going to need some work at the end of this project. Additionally, the bus garage parking lot is going to experience a lot of runoff water, I would imagine, from the driveway going up to the school. And will also be an entrance point to get to the back of this building for our buses. And so as part of this project, we would like to use some of our allowances that we've not previously used, some of our contingency money, to go ahead and have construction documents drafted. The last page of this shows a kind of an aerial map, and you can see the dark places where it's highlighted. That basically shows the area that would be included. And it kind of butts up to where the Wells and West paving will end. So it's just a continuation of that work. Because we don't have construction documents for that, we would need to enter this contract with LS3P for those documents. Additionally, we would have to have a survey done in order for this work to be completed. So on page 3 of the document, it shows you kind of the fee breakdown. We would need $11,860 for a survey, $1,000 for a site conditions assessment by the engineer, and then $27,000 for the construction documents for that project. There's also some contingencies in there for permitting if needed, and construction administration. That construction administration is likely not to be that significant if this work is completed while LS3P is still overseeing the project. I think it's a matter of timing. If this is outside, happens after Wells and West finish their contract and LS3P is kind of out of the picture, then we would need to bring them back into the picture for construction administration. But if it happens, as we hope it would, while they're still on site, then that would not be as significant. The money is in the grant for that, but because of the cost, I wanted to bring it before you all and ask for your approval of this proposal. Happy to answer any questions that you have.
Any questions about that proposal at all?
I think it's a great opportunity for us to upgrade those roads as part of this project, because those would be very expensive to do outside of the scope of this grant. And we certainly want to use all of the grant funds and not send any of them back.
Right.
So it's a good opportunity to upgrade.
Well, and I think the bus garage paving has been a problem for several years.
It already has drainage issues that will likely be greater once it's all complete.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Is there a motion that we enter into this agreement with LS3P?
Make a motion, Dr. Schiff.
Mr. Caldwell has a motion. Mr. Crawford seconds that. All in favor? Thank you. Next, we have the consolidated plan for federal programs. Mr. Saltz.
Another application. Y'all to approve. This is the federal programs application that is to be submitted by August 31st, and we need board approval to proceed with this application. So we will have a public meeting the 27th, and this is the Board of Education meeting that's required so that we can apply for the funding. Federal programs are authorized by ESSA, and PRC 50, which is Title I, is for the economically disadvantaged. Title II is improving teacher quality. Title IV is student support and academic achievement or enrichment. Due to our local needs assessments, we had a template from DPI to guide us in our local needs assessment, and that was done through district leadership, the primary school and the elementary school improvement teams. And what our goals are student growth in reading and language arts, student growth in math, increased family engagement, and improve student classroom behaviors and academic outcomes. Title I provides the assistance to the high percentages of children from low-income families. That's measured by the free and reduced meal status. It is very important, as we know, for everyone, if possible, to submit those applications. It really provides a lot of funding that supports our students. Title II, let me back up a little bit. We had our annual meeting each year. The school must have an annual meeting with parents so that we can explain criminal rights, discuss the programs and activities to be provided with funds, and solicit input. The primary school and the elementary school both have their meetings on August 20th. So we are in compliance with that. Those are the two schools that are served by our Title I funds. And again, the programs are student outcomes in math, ELA, and family engagement. The bad news, our allotment from last year is $39,770 than it was the previous year. And it was about the same the year before that. So in a couple of years, we've lost about $75,000 to $80,000. So that's a lot. We do have carryover funds that was written in the grant for last year that were not exhausted. So that includes 30% of the pre-K teachers and staff salaries. It also has, we've allocated the other remaining funds for the HPS and HES allocation to add to what is allocated this year. And then also $500 for homeless support. So, primary school. If I'm wrong, principals let me know. 278 students today. Without pre-K, the elementary school 321. That's what we're going on. So, of the money that's to be allocated to the different schools, of that money, 53.5% will go to the elementary and 46.5% will go to the primary. We base that on 80 in each school. The district set asides $81,000 for the early learning initiative, which is pre-K, and then $500 for homeless, as I mentioned earlier. The reason homeless is that amount is that is close to the minimum amount, but we get tremendous support from Communities for Students and other entities in the community to help with that. Very fortunate. So, of the total planning allotment of the over 300,000 for fiscal year 27, and then the 26 carryover, the remaining to be split is $346,770.16. The proportionate share for each school, we'll start with the elementary, $185,000. Below that, $169,000 for $170,000 that is allocated for teachers. We have federal funds can be used to hire additional teachers to lower the student-teacher ratio. So that's what the elementary school has done in grades 4 and 5. Also, each school will have a licensed tutor. That is a very, very important position. Both principals and school improvement teams really wanted that to happen. The remaining funds for the elementary are $15,000. And the remaining funds for the primary is $132,000. Why the difference? We did not have to fund a teacher to reduce the ratio at the elementary or the primary this year. So now we have an opportunity to look at other ways to improve our student outcomes, such as mobile computing carts. There's lots of things that we're trying to look at to have the most impact on our student outcomes. Title 2. Use to increase the academic achievement of all students by helping schools and districts improve teacher and principal quality and ensure that all teachers are highly qualified. We again took a hit, $3,300 less. We're at $48,000 this year. Beginning teacher support is huge with this. MTSS, social emotional behavior, professional learning, and travel expenses. That's what these funds are used for district-wide. Title 4, a flexible block grant, covers 3 main areas: well-rounded education, safe and healthy students, and the effective use of technology. We spend this money, we again took an $1,100, almost $1,200 hit, but we have our educator's handbook, it's behavior tracking software, and it talks to Infinite Campus, which is really useful. We have our social emotional learning app and curriculum, memberships for our counselors and PD, and then multi-language and AIG initiatives. What questions do you have that I may try to answer?
Our parents did have an opportunity to get feedback at open house, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. So
The 20th.
yes. Yeah. mention that as well.
Any other questions or comments for Mr. Saltz?
I just want to say how much I appreciate that Jim's just jumped in with both feet with federal programs. And it is a tight timeline once we get our allotments to having to submit and just being in the new role. And he's worked really hard to get us where we are, and I appreciate it.
That's what we do.
Thank you. Is there a motion that we approve this as presented?
Make the motion.
Mr. Jones. Mr. Caldwell, seconds that. All in favor? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Saltz. Appreciate your work.
Thank you.
Next, we have the retainer agreement with Swartz Law. So, as you guys remember from the last month's board meeting, we agreed to enter into an agreement with Richard Swartz. We finally have the finalized agreement back. That agreement begins September 1st and runs through June 30th of 2029. It is a 3-year agreement, the monthly retainer of $6,000. Of course, during that 3-year time, we can evaluate that each year, like we had talked about. And if we decide to go a different route, we can put out another RFP and do something different. But this agreement is for 3 years, but we can reevaluate that annually. So, a $6,000 retainer fee. That includes routine legal services, consultations with superintendent and board chairs, attendance at board meetings and hearings, policy reviews, policy review and development, general legal guidance, legal updates, and 2 half-day board or staff workshops each year. And if you remember, if it exceeds 25 hours in a month, then those are billed at hourly rates beyond that 25 hours. So
It's a reduced hourly rate.
Yeah. Are there any questions about that agreement with Swartz Law? If not, I'll entertain it.
Where does it say that we can review it every year?
Is it not in there?
I think the
I was
reason
thinking
that this was put for 3 years is because that is what our RFP said. So the RFP we put out said for 3 years.
So that's why I just put that in there.
But
I'll just be really hesitant for 3 years considering all the last year. I think we need to be able to evaluate him every year and make sure he does what he says he's going to do. And not be stuck with him. You know? I mean, that's fine.
So we can
evaluate him every year.
We can
Based
get
on
that put in,
His promises.
and we
that
can
he's
have him
made.
change that if you want it in the, because it actually, Mr. Caldwell just pointed out at the end, the terms of this contract shall be extended for successive 3-year terms.
Mhm.
So we can have him change that if you want to.
I mean, I think
can we make a motion to approve this with that change so we can go ahead and get it signed before, because it starts September 1.
Yeah.
And just not sign this copy.
Yeah, we can do that. Is everybody okay with that? If we approve it based on the change, that we can review that annually?
We make those changes, yes.
we do.
So we won't sign this actual document. We'll get him to do a new one and we'll email it to the board before we. Yeah.
Just as long as we have a way to make sure he does what he's going to say.
Yeah. Just an
That's just
annual.
making sure we're going to do what we say.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Everybody good with that? So we'll get a different document that has the 1-year renewals in it as opposed to 3. And then I'll email that to the board. And that'll be the one that we sign and not sign this one.
That'll be good.
So I'll entertain the motion that we enter into the agreement with Swartz Law with the change that we are reviewing those annually as opposed to every 3 years. So
I make the motion.
Mr. Jones has that motion. Mr. Crawford seconds that. All in favor? All right. Thank you.
I will say, I've had very responsive support over the last 2 months.
2 months.
Yep.
Very good. Next, we have the consent agenda. I'll entertain the motion that we approve the consent agenda as it's presented.
Make a motion we approve.
Is there a second to that? Mr. Caldwell seconds that. All in favor? Any other comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session.
Make a motion to go into closed session.
Mr. Jones, is there a second? Mr. Ash, seconds. All in favor?